it's the sulfur dioxide that could be problematic for people with underlying health conditions or respiratory issues like asthma or the sorts. Um, and currently, it's blowing over the Westman Islands, which is an archipelago off the south coast of Iceland. But if the forecasts hold, the volcanic plume could shift towards the capital region late tonight or early tomorrow morning. In which case, people should just be mindful of keeping their windows closed
Right.
and monitoring themselves for irritation of their eyes and throats and other
Right.
symptoms of sulfur dioxide.
What is the latest? What's happening?
Yes, the eruption started last night around quarter after 10 in the evening, and quickly opened up to a 4 kilometer long fissure along that same magma intrusion or tunnel that had formed ahead of Grindavik, the town that was evacuated in November. But yeah, last night this massive fissure opened up and it was churning out around 200 cubic meters of lava per second, which is a massive volume of lava and much more than we've seen in the previous 3 eruptions
Right.
on the Reykjanes Peninsula.
And there was enough of a forewarning of this so that everyone who needed to get away has got away.
Yes, luckily the entire area has been largely shut down, with only authorized personnel and the workers that have been working on this berm around the power plant in the area to protect it from any potential lava that runs towards it. So there was no one in the area. Everybody is safe. Nobody is in danger. The authorities are still keeping everybody at a very safe distance. It's definitely not open for tourists to go hiking to like the previous eruptions just yet. Definitely need more time to assess the situation and see how things change over the coming hours and days.
What, Catherine, is the nature of this gas pollution that the Met Office there is warning about?
Yes, well, all volcanoes emit gas. The two biggest ones, or the two biggest volumes being emitted from any eruption, being carbon dioxide and sulfur dioxide. And it's the sulfur dioxide that could be problematic for people with underlying health conditions or respiratory issues like asthma or the sorts. Um, and currently, it's blowing over the Westman Islands, which is an archipelago off the south coast of Iceland. But if the forecasts hold, the volcanic plume could shift towards the capital region late tonight or early tomorrow morning. In which case, people should just be mindful of keeping their windows closed
Right.
and monitoring themselves for irritation of their eyes and throats and other
Right.
symptoms of sulfur dioxide
And
exposure.
that's the extent of the risk. Because we remember, don't we, a few years back, how the gas plume from an eruption affected air traffic.
Yes, with Eyjafjallajökull in 2010, that was the massive ash plume, which is created from the gases and the eruption mixing with the water of the glacial ice cap that was over top of that volcano. Luckily, in this situation on the Reykjanes Peninsula, you don't have that ice cover, that ice cap,
Hmm.
to create that chemical reaction to create that same type of tephra or ash plume. So it's just the gases, just the gases.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be downplayed, but it's the gases that are going to be problematic, mostly for children and people with underlying medical conditions.
Yeah, it seems odd to talk about an infinitely powerful natural phenomenon being under control, but we all know what I mean by that. This is under control.
It's about as under control as it can be. Of course, yesterday the authorities around Grindavik that have been monitoring the situation were saying that perhaps the residents of Grindavik could return home for Christmas. And then I think it surprised everybody that an eruption suddenly began late last night. So it just goes to show that volcanology is a very young science. I've spoken to one of the country's leading volcanologists over the past months with the situation going on in the Reykjanes Peninsula. And he said, the best they can do is monitor and look for the signs, but the Earth will do what the Earth wants to do whenever it wants to do it. And
Sure.
it decided that it was going to erupt last night.